Back at you again on this Thursday morning because I played hooky from you guys yesterday. So I said I better come out and do what I do best, make sense out of nonsense. So I know it's early, but I'm hoping on this weekday, somebody, just somebody out there, might be able to join me so we can go ahead and have fun at the expense of these crazy behind Democrats. Boy, I tell you, just don't understand how anybody could be a modern day Democrat voter. Just don't understand it. But anyway, becoming a Democrat voter is like becoming a smoker. The data's in. It's not back in like the 20s when smoking was cool. Guy be sitting there with the cigarette. Yeah, sweetheart. You want to get involved with a guy like me? John Wayne be out there in the middle of a gun battle on the battlefield smoking a cigarette. Yeah, you didn't know the effects of it. You didn't have all the information. Yeah, you now know that, wait a minute, cigarettes will kill you. You'll get hooked on them. They'll mess up your lungs, all of that stuff. So for you to get hooked on a cigarette in today's age, I'm talking not somebody who's been smoking for years. You know what I mean? I'm talking right now. Here you are, 21 years old. And you talking about, I think I'm going to try smoking cigarettes. The data's in. Same thing with these Democrats. I could see if you were a Democrat, from, the Kennedy era, even the Bill Clinton era. But now, after the data's in, after they've been exposed to be garbage and toxic, you want to smoke a Democrat? Man, don't be smoking them Democrats. Get you all jacked up, lung cancer and everything. So anyway, with that being said, somebody said, please like and share. Thank you very, very much. Speaking of that, I'm here trying to find my app. Here, there it is. Okay, let's see if I even got myself a notification. Yep, there it is. Ha ha. Yeah, word. And a commercial's playing. And I'm going to let it play. I'm going to let that bad boy play. Because that's how I get paid for the most part. Of course, your support helps as well through kind donations and all of that stuff. And just watching my videos, sharing my videos and all that good stuff. Now, with that being said, I might as well go ahead and get busy. Yep. Real good. Real good. Real good. This is James in the building. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Yeah, buddy. See my analogy with starting to be a new smoker in this day and age. Same thing. Stuff that we got enough information now to make better choices. Sitting back and get introduced to crack right now in 2025. Ain't never take a drug in your life. You want to try some crack? I don't know. I've heard bad things about that crack, but I'm pretty sure I'll beat the odds. Yeah, it's not going to end bad for me. Give me a hit of it. Give me a hit of it. You got to be stupid. Somebody come up to you talk about, yeah, you want to go ahead and register to be a Democrat? What? You better get that mess out of my face. Shoot, man, that stuff dangerous. Democrats, man. So anyway, with that being said, hit the like button, share my videos. Welcome to the show, everybody. Sounds good, picture good. Okay, good. We're good. So you guys already one step ahead of me. And don't forget to check out Kevin's Corner Store, where you can get yourself some merch. And that big fat number on the screen, 330-974-4607, is a number you can text MAGA to, so I can stay connected just in case they bounce me off this here internets. And then finally, you want to support the channel in other ways, you can do it through my Cash App, my PayPal link, and all that good stuff. Okay? Now, with that being said, we have to go ahead now and go back to these crazy behind self-inflicted Democrat supporters. Not just the Democrats, okay, because they're the ones inflicting all of the pain on their voters, and their voters don't even know it. They're like a mad scientist, an evil doctor who's experimenting on his patients, and they don't know it. Giving them something just to see, what's going to happen. All right, then let's see if they grow an extra eye. Yeah, they do that to their voters and their supporters. and their supporters come out and support dumb things that go directly against their self-interest. And they think they're doing good. So we have to psychoanalyze not only the crazy behind Democrats who are doing this, but also the folks that are supporting them. And then we maybe can make sense of it. So let's get busy.
Get back our humanity. And now we're out in the streets. Out in the streets. Out in the streets. Yeah, out in the streets. They're gonna let no fascists take our democracy.
Now you see these victims? Do y'all see these victims of these Democrat doctors? Doctor of evil, Dr. Deaths? Look what they've done to these people. That's a shame. You hear what they put in there? Well, let's hear it again. Yeah, we're going to take it back. Yeah, they made it emphasize that.
Out in the streets, they're gonna let no...
Yeah, let's hear it again.
Out in the streets, yeah, out in the streets, they're gonna let no fascists take our democracy.
Now you hear them?
This is the worst.
Yeah. It's the worst. And you would think Democrats would be like, get these folks off the we don't want them out there. And that's just for us. We know they crazy, but we can't let the other people realize we got nothing but crazy voters and supporters out here doing this. Normal people are not out here singing, I gotta take back our dignity because of fascism and all of this stuff. Normal people ain't doing that, but you know why they're saying that? It's because you know who's coming. They already know. They already know who's coming. They ain't gonna. So now they're out there singing little tunes. Take back our democracy. Wait, is it dignity? Dignity or democracy? You know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, each day is something else we're whining about. It's being taken from us. Taken from us because we're living in a fascist the dictatorship and stuff like that allows us to come out there and sing crazy songs and accuse the president of being a fascist and a dictator. Now, even dictators don't like you telling people that they're dictators. They try to convince the world that, no, I'm not a dictator. My people love me. They like me controlling them and taking over and doing all these things and threatening them and that. They like that stuff. So you don't let folks go out there and do that if you're a real dictator. And they're not even self-aware enough to know that. They're so programmed by these Democrats that they're living a lie, thinking that they're under oppression and they got to come out and sing all of these songs like they are living during the civil rights era. And so what they've done now to prevent this dictator from coming into Chicago to save lives and bring down crime, they have brought out this ugly mug right here. They have dusted off. They went back to that mirror and said, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. And look who showed up. Beetlejuice is back, y'all. She's back in full effect. Okay. So now let's see what she got to say, because she don't want Trump coming into Chicago either. So let's see what she got to say.
This is not about violent crime.
It's not.
And I don't think we should pretend that this manufactured crisis.
Now see, this is the stuff that makes me say, why would you be a modern day Democrat voter or supporter when they belittle your intelligence like this? I mean, coming out and just saying, manufactured crisis. See, they always say that. Manufactured crisis when the overwhelming evidence shows something contrary. Telling us that the border crisis was manufactured while allowing us to see hundreds and thousands of people coming a month. Sometimes a million, whatever, it just don't matter. And they will look you in your face and say, Trump's making this up. This is a manufactured crisis. So it would be different if there was some leeway in that statement, some evidence, some, a little gray area. But the evidence is always overwhelming. And then they come out and belittle you and gaslight you by saying it's a manufactured crisis. So I can see if maybe two people were, unalived up there in Chicago, 3. But like all of those folks, nine folks, and all of them people who got shot, and you're coming out here telling us it's a manufactured crisis. This is what make us despise the Democrat Party because of these things like this. When you say, you know what, you think I'm stupid. That's how maybe your people can't see through this crap, but it burns me up and it makes me just want to go ahead and expose all of this nonsense when you got the nerve to get your ugly butt on TV without cracking the screen somehow. I don't know how that screen is able to contain all of this ugliness. I don't understand. I'm waiting for the right there. But she gets up at that manufactured crisis, belittling all of these deaths. If I'm a victim of one of these manufactured crises up there in Chicago, I'm offended by this ugly mug.
And his attempt to provoke people in Chicago.
Oh, yeah. Provoke people into Chicago to do what? To do what? I mean, is he going to send the National Guard in, pump faking at people? What, man? What you looking at? What, you better not. Yeah, you better keep walking. Shoot. That's what we up here do. We're here just to provoke people. No, you guys are provoking people by telling everybody this dictator is bringing in all of these National Guard people, and they're going to be harassing and arresting grandmas. And you guys are the ones that are trying to provoke people. Normal people with common sense, they're not going to have a problem if they see police officers, if they see National Guard members, if they're law-abiding citizens that haven't been polluted by this ugliness right here. Telling everybody that this is a manufactured crisis and he's coming here to provoke people.
Is legitimate exercise of power. It is not. We also know there are red cities in red states.
That's the new talking point. Yeah. So maybe Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer sent out the memo saying, hey, listen, everybody, we all know that our cities are infested with crime. We already know that. And Trump's beating us up on this issue by exposing us. He's bringing this to the national stage so that we'll reflexively take the other opposite position, the stupid one. The one that we got to come out and lie to y'all and tell y'all it's a manufactured crisis. That position. So what we're going to do now is try to pivot and say, here's what y'all really need to be looking at. Look at all these Republican states and stuff and all of that crime. It ain't us. It ain't us. Yeah, Republican states got more crime in that. See, once again, they're relying on ignorant people. They're thinking that, hey, our watchers, our viewers, our supporters are dumb. They're not going to stop and think, now, wait a minute. Why aren't they mentioning who runs these cities inside of these conservative states? Why aren't they mentioning who runs these cities where the Republican states, they got high crime in these cities too? And I'm going, but what does those cities all have in common? As they try once again to deceive people.
That have higher per capita rates of gun violence and other violent crime that we're not hearing coming out of the president's mouth as the places where he really wants to go.
And if I was Trump, I would have our press secretary come out there with a nice big bulletin, a nice big presentation and say, lately the Democrats have been accusing conservative states of having higher crime than Democrat states. But they never mention the cities, okay? They never mention what cities are high crime, but wait, more so. Who's running them? So we're going to go down the list. Here's all the cities. What do they all have in common? Boys and girls? All Democrat cities. Who's running all of these cities, boys and girls? Democrats. They're tainting our beautiful conservative states. You guys are stains on our states. That's what it is. You and your horrible policies and the way you run your cities are like a big pimple on our butt or on the nose. Ain't nothing worse. You get a pimple right there. I don't care how cute you think you is. I don't care how fine you think you is. You can have flawless skin, but that pimple on your nose will expose you, mess up your whole visage. People be like, man, I can't see past that big fat pimple on the front of that nose. That's what these cities are in our states, but they won't tell you that. So let's continue. Watch this lady from Chicago come out and try to gaslight us.
anytime that there's crime anywhere in our state or around the country, we want to continue to see progress being made, and we are making progress here in Illinois and in the city of Chicago. But this is not about public safety.
No, it's not. It's not about public safety. Here we go again. Yeah, let's go ahead and pivot. Let's give a soft, gesture that we take crime seriously. I mean, look, across the whole block. Look, Democrats want to see crime go down all over the place. Oh, all over the place. But this ain't about crime. This ain't about crime. Get your mind off the crime. That's what we trying to do. Get your mind off the crime and get back on Trump. Let's go ahead and give you a motive based on us trying to pivot and distract you of Trump coming into the city. Because it ain't about crime. So what is it about? Tell us, oh wise one.
And this is not about making our residents safer. What Donald Trump wants to happen is he wants to manufacture a crisis.
He wants to manufacture a crisis. He's not identifying a crisis. No, that's not what he's doing. He's not responding to a crisis. You're telling us, once again, that he wants to manufacture a crisis. Now, notice that the Democrats create all these crises. They bring these crises to us, and when we recognize them and respond, then they say, we're the ones making up the crisis. By the time the crisis hits us, when it pops up on our radar, it's bad. It's bad. Yeah, you get some gangrene in that big fat foot of yours, and you talking about some, I'm going to ignore it. By the time it's in your thigh, it's too late. You sitting there going, you know what? Doc, I think this is a crisis. Nah, it's not really a crisis. Wait till it gets up into your belly. No, you better do something by the time it start paining you, by the time you sitting there walking and it's tender and it's starting to smell, you going, hey, I might want to do something about this. And people going, don't worry about it. You know, you're making a big to-do of nothing. It's not that bad, Kev. Suck it up. Rub some dirt on it. And I'm going, I don't know. I don't know if that's a good idea. I wasn't walking around, looking for trouble. I didn't ask for the gangrene, but when it popped up and it started stinking, I said, what's that smell? What's that smell? Yeah, once it gets to my nose, it's a problem. Yeah, but you want to say it's a manufactured crisis. Yeah, Trump didn't go and shoot all of those folks in Chicago. He didn't do that. Trump's not soft on crime in Chicago. He's not out there in Chicago, taking resources from the police. And during your campaign talking about we need to defund the police, reimagine policing. He's not the one doing that. You, Mayor Conehead, and your sidekick right there talking about he wants to manufacture a crisis. Trump didn't open up that border. He didn't get up to say, well, if I you got to search the border. That wasn't Trump that said that. So when this crap pops up, and then y'all start talking about the manufacturing crisis, all of these crises are Democrats starting this mess. Even when it comes down to how we have to respond to all of their social issues that they allowed to become crisis. Now all of a sudden, you think I wanted to go ahead and become a male feminist trying to defend women in their sports? Sitting there going, wait a minute, nobody's going to step in and say nothing. Now I got to step in. Yeah, I got to step in and say, wait a minute. What? These guys shouldn't be in these women's sports. You guys are manufacturing the crap. Well, maybe if y'all wouldn't have spent the last 10 years shoving this mess into society and down our throats, maybe we wouldn't even notice it. Yeah, back in the day, I wouldn't have never known this if y'all wouldn't have put it out there and made it political. Never known it. Hey, you think 10 years ago I was thinking about a day when we would have to argue why it's stupid to have men in women's sports? I could see if I made this up 10 years ago and it wasn't a problem. Yeah, man, you know what? We need to really get out there and start talking about these men who want to play with men, Kev. That's crazy. We all are on one accord. That's stupid. What are you thinking? What? But then when it pops up and we going 1, 2, 3, 4, now it's all over the place. And you guys are coming on TV talking about if you don't support this, you're a transport. And I'm going to see, y'all started this mess and we had to come off the bench and respond to it. But now we're the problem. Now, look at this. Here's Bad Body. Bad Body on the beach. So here's Bad Body on the beach. And listen what he got to say when this lady asked him a question about the crime.
We ask your friends to ride the L after midnight or after, 9 o'clock at night even.
Yeah. Surely you should tell all of your friends, Fritzer, to go ahead and jump on those the choo-choo trains and be out in the streets during certain hours because it's a manufactured crisis. There it is. And crime is down, right? But instead of being able to say that, watch what he says.
Yeah. Down to the city from O'Hare.
Look, big cities have crime.
Look, big cities have crime. Generalize it. I mean, we're all dealing with crimes everywhere. Are you saying there's no crime? Well, you guys have a high concentration of crime. High concentration. There it is. Now, look, all Kool-Aid has sugar. But when you go ahead and pour the whole bag in there, now I got a sweet tooth. Yeah, one sip. Now I'm infected with sugar diabetes. Too much sugar in that orange Kool-Aid. Okay? Ease up on the sugar, but not them. Yeah, they like it. They like it like that. Now, keep it coming. So now here he is. You know what? All big cities got crime. And then watch this pivot.
There's no doubt about it. But let's just pay attention to what President Trump is doing.
Oh, you hear that? Do you hear that? All big cities got that crime, but there's no doubt about it. But let's pay attention to what Trump's doing. Let's focus on Trump trying to stop this crime. Let's focus on Trump instead of all of those shootings that took place. Why aren't you able to say that you would allow your friends or family and all of them to get on the transit? Why aren't you able to say that? You should be confident as a leader of a state and a city to say, yep, my city's safe. And I recommend that anybody should just jump on the train or, take the subway. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. But this guy can't even say that. Pivots back to who? Trump. And she lets him get away with it.
Targeting Chicago. He's overlooking red states that have much higher crime rates.
Oh, there it is, the talking point. Now it just keeps surfacing. He's overlooking red states that got much higher crime rates and stuff. How about you focus on your raggedy behind city and state? See, you got one big fat city in your state that's stinking it up. Chicago.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. You said that you would be opposed to having an extension of the National Guard's presence here. Since the crackdown began, carjackings have dropped 66%.
Uh-oh. Now we gotta see how the Democrats handle overcoming positive results of what Trump is doing. Now you gotta send out this fake bootleg, monotone, softcore beta male guy right here, Hawker. Hawker Jeffrey's back, y'all. And now they're asking Hawker, what do you say? When folks in Washington is going, I can walk the streets now. I think I'll go out for a little jog or whatever. I feel pretty comfortable. What are you going to say? And look what Mayor Bowser just did. So now watch this. Watch this trash right here that he's about to go ahead and dump out.
And robberies have dropped 28% and violent crime 15%. And you've been opposed to this since their presence here began, but
been opposed to it. You hear that? Positive things came out of this, but because you're a dumb Democrat and got to automatically take the opposite side of Trump, you were opposed to it. Now you're stuck. Now you're hit with all of the positive data. So now watch this, y'all.
Democrats finding themselves on the wrong side of this issue at all with such reports, they're a bit beneficial.
Of course we're on the wrong side of this. But I'm going to get up here and try my best to finagle my way through this response without giving Trump credit, without acknowledging that Trump's process worked. But watch this. I'm gonna go ahead and try to support Mayor Bowser and the police, but I'm not.
Very good conversation with the mayor of the District of Columbia. I'm going to continue to support her position.
Oh, her position.
Every single area of criminal activity that you mentioned was on the way down.
Yeah, on the way down. That quickly? See, that's the side eye. That's the look that we all should be giving him. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. I hear you, man. So if that was on the way down, I'm supporting Mayor Bowser, not Trump. Understand, without Trump doing this, none of this would happen. And and then they try to slide in. It was on the way down. It was on the way down. I'm thinking it was. How quickly? I mean, when it's an emergency, you want immediate relief. Yeah, man. Yeah. You go in there with an abscess or whatever abscess in your tooth. Yeah, you want some Nova. You like poke that mug. Don't be talking about I'm gonna give you a baby aspirin. You should start feeling the effects about 2 hours from now. You'll get a little. No, you're like, hey, give me the most powerful thing to get this stuff done quickly. I don't want to feel that tooth. I want to feel like I ain't even got no teeth in my mouth. Get rid of the pain. But he's talking about it was on the way down. How many lives would have been lost as we wait for slowly decline on its own? That's not even natural. That's like saying cancer's gonna just go ahead and start to retract on its own. Don't need no chemo, no aggressive therapy. It'll take care of itself. That's how it normally works. No, when crime starts to be embedded in a society with no resistance, usually it grows. So here's the side eye, and watch Hawker Jeffries continue to lie to us.
Prior to the arrival of the National Guard, I'm going to continue to personally support the Metropolitan Police Department of the District of Columbia. I'm going to support the Chicago Police Department, the New York Police Department.
But not what Trump is doing. Now you see what he's doing? Yeah, I cannot give credit to Trump. I cannot say what Trump did was smart, practical, and rendered results. I can't do that. But I'm stuck because now I look stupid. I'm stuck on stupid. That's what he should be saying. I'm stuck on stupid. So now I got to come out and try to be general. Say I'm going to support law enforcement in all of these raggedy SO-ran cities that, without intervention will continue to operate that way. Now we got an example of one that got intervention and it changed. And now we in trouble because we demonized the method. We said Trump's going in, this ain't going to work, and this and all that. And now Bowser's going, it worked. Not only did it work, but she came up with another plan. She's like, keep it going. Keep the party going. Yeah, I know you only got 30 days, but is there an arrangement we could come up to extend this indefinitely? So now how are you going to say it don't work? This is a takeover. Nobody wants this. Let's continue.
And police officers who protect and serve all across the country. And if those local police departments conclude that they want some support from the...
You see the dog? Even the dog knows doo-doo when it smells it. They know it more than us. They smell that doo-doo a mile away. Yeah. You be sitting there like, what? What is it, boy? Doo-doo. How do you know it's the... Oh, yeah, that is doo-doo. Oh, I smelled it like 3 hours ago. That's how bad this guy smells. Doo-doo. Let's continue. So wait a minute. Our National Guard men and women or any additional law enforcement or help in there, they don't get respect, they don't get support. Yeah, you're going to cast them away just because Trump sent them in. They're not viable. They're not able to be commended and complimented. No. So you're going to go ahead and tip away from anything connected to Trump. Even if it means you got to disrespect all of the rest of the law enforcement that Trump sent in. Let's finish with the dog side eye.
Federal government, then I support that effort by those local police departments to partner with...
Look, you would see the hoops he's jumping through to avoid Trump. And if the local the police department wants the federal people to come in, then I support the local police department. Now, you don't support the federal intervention? You don't do that? Everything has to go back to the local. And if the local want it, then the local. But the local wasn't getting it done, which makes you local. Muy local. Essay. So now let's finish hearing from this guy talk about the local.
The federal government. It's as simple as that. Donald Trump is not going to get away with lecturing anybody about issues of law and order.
Now, see, in other words, I can't give him credit. He's not going to get away with anybody by lecturing us on that because we've demonized and villainized and lied on him constantly to, pretty much brainwash part of our society to think that Donald Trump is lawless. Yeah. We've brainwashed folks to think that Donald Trump encouraged an insurrection. We brainwashed folks to think that he cheated on some business deals. We brainwashed folks to think all of these stupid things. And so now we're going to come out and use all of those brainwashed lies to justify why we don't have to listen to Trump when it comes down to him going after crime. Because he's a criminal, right? He's a convicted felon. Because we went ahead and sabotaged him and we railroaded him. We're the ones that used all that lawfare to get this label that we put on him and stuff like that. Yeah. So there you have it. But wait. Their friends in the media got to come out too and help him. So I said, love your analogy when you explain these. Yeah, man, I like using a lot of analogies. They make sense. They make it nice and plain sometimes. So now, here's the media. They're coming out and they're going to parrot. Republican states are filled with crime. Republican states are filled with crime.
There are a lot of cities in red states where the president is not suggesting sending the National Guard.
A list of the most violent U.S. cities, and a number of them are in red states. Ooh. We're not seeing Donald Trump use the military or threaten the military in any one of these places.
Yeah. So here's the message if you're a bleeding heart liberal, if you're a dumb Democrat. Here's what they want you to think. That Donald Trump is just targeting these blue states for retribution. Donald Trump is just doing this for politics. Yeah, he's biased. There's no problem in our state, okay? Yeah, he's just doing this for politics. So don't look at the substance of why he's doing this. Don't look at that. Don't look at the details and the facts and the stats. Don't look at that. Yeah, just listen to our voices. So remember, anything Donald Trump does stems from a place of evil. You think he really want to save lives and protect these folks? Nah. Why would somebody that evil want to save lives? Why would he want to do that? Unbelievable. So now, here they are. Don't look here. Look over at these the red states and question why Donald Trump's not going after them.
U.S. city with the highest homicide rate is St. Louis, in a state with a Republican governor.
A Republican governor. So they're mentioning the cities. Then they're talking about, look, we got Republican governors. But one thing they left out. Why aren't they saying, listen, the St. Louis is ran by what? A Democrat. A dirty Dem. Why aren't they mentioning that? They're leaving that key detail out because they want you to believe that don't look at this. The red states are worse than us. Trump's bias.
We believe that they will pick up all of those resources and send them to the next city in a blue state, ignoring cities in red states with higher violent crime rates than we have.
Yeah, just like you ignore the fact that all of those blue cities in red states are big fat pimples on our noses. Yeah, our states would be better if we took your nasty, ran blue cities and threw it somewhere out there in California. Throw it somewhere else. Send it out there in the middle of the ocean, the Serengeti, wherever. Y'all can tear that sucker up. But don't be the pimple on our nose. We want to look cute when we go out to the ball. We don't want to have to put makeup over that pimple. We don't want to have to pop that mug. Yeah, ruin your whole day. So this guy right here, who's out there talking about why doesn't he look at those? He's overlooking that. And I'm going, you're overlooking the fact that those are all Democrat-ran cities.
They love that talking point. You notice they never highlight that all of the cities that they're speaking of are radically blue cities.
Isn't that ironic?
That happen to be inside of red states.
People on
The
our
National
nose.
Guard is completely performative.
Oh, now look at this guy. This pseudo-black man. Yeah, they got him a well-spoken the Democrat, the black man who's supposed to come out here, who wants to run for president probably. And watch his example of why this ain't going to work.
Because the National Guard's not even trained for it. As the commander-in-chief of the Maryland National Guard.
Look at him. Smug. First of all, why are your knees so tight? That's what I want to know. Why are you sitting there with those knees locked up like that? How about you relax a little bit? Huh? Yeah, you want to look all smug and dignified up there with your tight knees. Talking about something that the National Guard is not capable of doing this. Because look, I got experience and stuff. I got experience.
I am not just deeply respectful, but very cognizant of the skill sets
that our National Guards bring. And the National Guard is not trained for municipal policing.
That's true. If the National Guard doesn't know anything about policing and can't make anything safer, why is it working?
Good question. Did the guy with the tight knees didn't answer. Why is it working? All of this criticism about the National Guard takeover and everything that Trump's doing is not going to work. But then the results come in, the stats come in, and it drastically changes the crime, and it works. And you guys are still out there lying to us, attempting to look everybody in the face and say, it doesn't work. And you're going, look like it works to me. Boom, start the car. Oh, that sounds good. The engine sounds great. Nope, car won't start. I'm listening to it. It sounds good to me. Oh, that doesn't work. There it is. I'm going to need to go ahead and put a new engine in it. The car's running. I don't know what you hear. Doesn't work. And I'm going, so once again, an example of trying to gaslight us. And you wonder why y'all are losing voters. Because voters aren't that dumb. Folks that got 2 brain cells are starting to recognize a pattern coming from these raggedy behind Democrats. Get on TV and lie straight to your face. It's not going to work.
For carjackings, the difference between this period, this 20-day period of this federal surge and last year represents a 87% reduction.
Well, look at that. But that's just a little bit though, right? That's just because crime was coming down. I'm sure if we'd have left them to their own devices, it would have dropped that quick. 87% in a month. I'm sure. If we'd have left it up to these folks, that's what would have happened. It would have probably taken 30 years on the pace that they were at to try to bring crime down for that to even happen. And of course, we all know it would have went up. Probably would have been at 100% carjackings. So now, here we are with the results coming in from a Democrat that Trump intervened, and now the results are in, but they're still telling us it doesn't work.
In carjackings in Washington, D.C. We know that when carjackings go down, when the use of gun goes down, when homicide or robbery go down, neighborhoods feel safer.
Now look at this. This is common sense. She was forced into common sense. Because, you know, that's what happened. She got forced into having common sense, and now she kind of like it. See, it's real there. I know I don't like it. I probably won't like it. No, just try it. Really, it's good. It's good. No, I don't like it. Then stuff it down your mouth. Hey, that wasn't bad. Look what I've been missing. Hey, man, I didn't know cabbage tastes so good. Yeah, I'll have some more of that, please. So now that she got a good taste of the fine dining, she's like, let's keep the party going. The people are complimenting us. They're walking around going, I feel safe. Yeah, who would have thought that when carjackings go down and gun usage go down, and murders go down, that people would feel safe? Who would have thought that? Because, see, it's just expected that these things are baked into the cake in Democrat cities. Well, we just got to live with it. That's how it is, the carjackings and crime and gunfire and all of that stuff. But, I'm sure it's because of poverty or slavery or something. Unreal.
And are safer. So this surge has been important to us for that reason.
Oh, boy. Why Trump? Huh?
What was the cannon?
The cannon was me.
Yeah! Tell them, kids.
The cannon!
Yeah! The cannon! That's why. We had to send in the cannon. Yeah, what did this? What made this happen? The cannon. Who's the cannon? The cannon was me. Boom! The cannon! The cannon! I want some more of that cannon. Send that cannon right up to Chicago. Chicago needs the cannon to come in. That's what they need up there. But then look at this guy. Look at this guy right here that was resisting all of this cannon activity. A cannon could change the whole game on the battlefield. You out there with your musket, reloading, and they come out with that cannon, wipe out a whole bunch of y'all. So we need the cannon. So now watch this guy.
You heard, do you think that he's going to end up going to Congress? Because he can't revoke complete home rule authority for D.C. without actually going to Congress first. He can't even extend this past 30 days without going to you all first. Have you heard that that's what he plans on doing? And if he went to Congress and said, you know what, there's this crime emergency, we need the National Guard out there longer, we need to take over Washington, D.C., would you grant it?
No way.
Yeah, You hear that? No effing way. You hear, Mr. Burns? I like the crime. I like seeing DC be ran like an S-hole state or city. I like that. I would never do something smart. I would never give Trump credit. I would never team up with him for the betterment of the people. Never. However, we don't have to rely on that now because Mayor Bowser went ahead and extended it. She's the one that said, don't worry about Congress. Yeah, I'll go ahead and allow this union to continue.
We'll fight him tooth and nail.
Tooth and nail.
And right now, as you said, he can only do it for 30 days, or now I guess it's 26 or 27.
And now I think it's indefinitely. There you go, Chucky, old boy. There you go. We're going to get rid of this. Now, all of these folks who's complaining about this, even Chicago, their folks up there, if this works, which has been working in Washington, if for whatever reason they just remove it, people would then be able to see the drastic difference in the way these things take place, how they're governed, these cities. They would be like, man, you got us used to safety. We had a good solid month or so, walking around feeling safe. And now, look what we've returned to, because that's what would happen. It would immediately go back to the way it was. If you don't mess around and get rid of all those brown brothers in your house, and I'm talking about roaches. Yeah, you talking about I killed 5 of them. If you think you doing something, and you ease up on them bombs and them traps and them hotels you done laid out for them, and that spray, just because you ain't seen them in about 2 or 3 days, I think we're good. You got to keep the treatment coming, okay? Because the brown brothers would lay low until the smoke clears and come back out on your cornbread in the middle of the night. You think they're going down there celebrating, having a party. So this guy right here is talking about no way. They would have to learn real quick that, whoa, this is a drastic difference. We went from hell to heaven and then back to hell. And the people would have a fit.
Whatever. And he needs to get Congress to approve it. And not only are we not going to approve it, but I have there are some Republicans who don't like it either.
Well, you know who approved it? The mayor. You know who approved it? Yeah, public opinion, safety approved it. People feeling safe approved it. Those crime statistics dropping approved it. We don't need your approval. We don't respect your approval. We don't expect your governing or your decision making. Okay? We respect the decision making that led to a decrease in that crime. But if we'd have left it up to you, Chucky, old boy, carjackings, murders would still be taking place up there, right? Unreal.
This is, again, just a distraction. He's afraid of Epstein. Okay. He's afraid of all that. And we are not going to be we are not going to give up on Epstein.
We're not going to give up on Epstein. No, wait a minute. Is this the same Epstein that you guys never even mentioned for all of the years you were in power? I mean, they are so see-through when it comes to their obvious attempt to link Trump. Now they know they ain't got nothing on Trump with Epstein. They just like to keep it in the ether. They just like to keep the thought, the possibility up there. Yeah, there it is out there. That's probably what he's doing. Everything that he's doing, even though it's working and it's practical and it's rational and it's logical and it's good for the people, it's all being done to distract from Epstein. There it is. I'm starting to not care right about now about this whole Epstein thing. That's where they get me. See, when Democrats get involved, they kill it. They make you go, see, y'all trying to use this, okay, to bludgeon Trump. But we're not stupid. We already know that if y'all had the goods on him, it would be out already. And y'all are still trying to use that now as an excuse to excuse your bad governing and bad choices. And to try to downplay Trump's good choices by saying that this is a distraction. All of this good stuff that he's doing is working. It's a distraction because, he's trying to distract from Epstein by doing good things. Yeah, that will distract people from Epstein. Hey, I want those files right. Wait a minute. No more gunshots? We're able to walk around safely? What was I thinking about again? How's Epstein right about now going to change my life on the streets when I'm driving around worried about being carjacked? Yes, we'll get to Epstein and all, but how about we deal with the immediate threat? How about we deal with that? The immediate threat, folks dying in our cities. Okay? But here's Janine.
Guy Pritzker, he should be ashamed of himself to say that 54 shootings that's not enough to bring in extra law enforcement. That is simply a denial of your obligation. It is a rejection of your oath to protect the people.
You tell him. But don't just blame Bad Body, okay? Because you know right now, here's the face of all of this stupidity right here. The Mayor Mohawk. So now here goes Mayor Conehead out here saying some of the dumbest stuff. They're always all over the place trying to make excuses for their raggedy behind governing and crime. So listen to these straight up, off the wall connections of why all of these shootings are taking place.
Shootings will continue as long as this presidential administration continues to put politics over people.
What does that even mean? These shootings will continue to take place as long as this president continues to put politics over people. What the heck does that even mean? How does that even... So wait, those brothers out there in the streets that is shooting all over the place is because of Trump? There it is. Until Trump stop putting politics over people, I got to kill. That's what I got to do. They ain't even thinking about politics. The folks doing the killing are not political. They're not sitting there thinking about the politics and Trump bringing in more money and resources for our programs that aren't working. You think that's what's motivating them to kill? Until we get more social programs and interventions, we just got to kill. We just got to kill. And when Trump brings all these things in, then we'll put the guns down, change our wicked ways, and stop killing. That is how stupid. See, I got to make it dumb so that anybody listening thinking that sounded good could break that down the way I just did. Psychoanalyze how stupid of a statement that was. Yeah, Trump out there putting people over politics, over people. That's why the gunfires and stuff is going. And that's exactly what he's doing. Putting politics over people. You know what would help your people in that gunfire saying, Mr. Trump, could you please come in here and do what you just did in Washington, D.C.? That's what would help. But guess what you're doing? The opposite. You are sitting there projecting right through that big cone head of yours. And then he comes right back with another zinger.
2 or 3 more new guns come into our city. Chicago will continue to have a violence problem as long as red states continue to have a gun problem.
Y'all hear that stupidity? This guy just gets stupider and stupider. So it's the red states with the gun problem, even though the gun violence in those red states aren't even high. In the states that they're saying that all these guns are coming in to Chicago, first of all, the statistics shows that all of these guns that were recovered, the majority of them were recovered because they were purchased or gotten in Illinois, not in all these other states. But let's just say, all right, they got some from Kentucky. Well, if we got a gun problem in Kentucky, why aren't there all those murders taking place there? Oh, well, down in Indiana, there's a lot of guns there. So is there a lot of shooting there? You would think if the guns equaled a lot of shooting, then all the shootings would be in Indiana. Somehow, though, there it is. Our guns in our states, okay, somehow makes it to Chicago and then possesses all of these criminals to do it. There it is. They're minding their own business, doing their schoolwork. You know what I'm saying? They're out there, they're being model citizens and psst. Yes. Hey, pick me up. Wait a minute. What, aren't you a gun? Yes, I am. But I'm not dangerous. Just pick me up and see what happens. Yeah, feel the power rage through you once you grab me. Yeah? Now, don't you feel like going out and killing? Don't you feel like, see what I mean? I never felt this way before. I never thought about being a criminal before, but this gun right here, that's what he wants us to think. Just straight misplaced the blame and said, yeah, it's us with the gun problem. Do you know, once again, I mean, you all know, but the level of condescension that comes out of these people, the arrogance of them to make these statements, to belittle people when they're going, you want us to believe that it's not these people up here and their mentality. It's not the fact that you guys have bred a whole society and community to think that criminal activity is a better way of life in these raggedy cities because there's no resistance. Yeah, I mean, could it be something like that? Making excuses for all their behavior? No, it's the red states and all their guns.
This is a part of his plan.
Here's another one. Here's another excuse. They are doing their best to keep Trump off their back. They don't want that cannon coming in there and blowing up everything. I want to light the wick. I want to be the one up there. Blow it all up. So now, here's the new one.
To do something really nefarious, which is to interfere with elections in 2026. He wants to.
Wow. I mean, it goes from Trump just wants to take over the cities. Trump wants to do this because he's distracted from Epstein. Trump wants to do. Now all of a sudden he's doing this. You know, let me come up with other reasons why he's doing this than the obvious reason, which is our crime is out of control. So now, to scare the people with Trump derangement syndrome, he's doing this to take over the elections. This right here is laying the groundwork to go in and take over. How do you even make this jump?
Have troops on the ground to stop people from voting, to intimidate people from going to the voting booth.
Wow. I mean, he should be ashamed of himself. And not only because he's built like SpongeBob, but he should be ashamed of himself to actually come out there and say that there's something real nefarious that I'm about to make up and completely lie and see if you buy it. This is so he can intimidate people. So he's going to use the National Guard to stand outside of the voter booths or whatever, the voting stations or buildings. And when people come up to vote, they're going to stop what they say, halt right there. What's your political affiliation? Well, I'm a Democrat. Then get out of here. We don't want your kind voting. Only Republicans. Yeah, we've been put on an assignment to make sure that only Republicans vote. That's what Trump's going to do. I mean, now, see, when you break it down into these dumb terms, it goes to show, I can't believe it. How dare you come out there and try to say, this is the reason why. Not because of the crime, right?
So take note. That is what this is all about.
Take note. That's what it's. Oh, he said it definitively. Take note. That's what this is about. That's what this is. So it's about Epstein. It's about stopping elections, and I'm sure they'll come up with some other reasons. And it's racism. Oh, I forgot. That's coming up too. It's racism. So now let's hear from Trump himself.
Mind up on Chicago though?
Well, we're going in.
Ooh.
I didn't say when. We're going in.
Inevitable. You tell them I'm coming, and hell's coming with me. Hell's coming with me.
See what y'all did? And y'all brought this on yourself, okay? And you're gonna get what you deserve. If y'all wouldn't overreact to everything Trump does, if y'all wouldn't make it seem like everything he's doing is stupid, is sporadic, I don't know why he's doing this, it won't work. When he's trying to solve obvious problems, and it goes to show you guys care more about resisting Trump and politics than governing the right way, than saving people's lives, making people safe. Yeah. So now you got to go out there and defend why you are saying Trump can't come in here and clean up our city and make you guys safe because of these trying to stop elections and stuff like that.
I have an obligation. This isn't a political thing. I would love to have Governor Pritzker call me. I'd be honored to take his call.
But he can't do that because this is the same bad body that was out there prior to this talking about you were Nazi. And this is definitely a playbook out of Hitler and Mein Kampf and all of that stuff. He spent all kind of time taking that bad body onto different networks, equating you to Hitler. Now, how would it look if this guy now has to go ahead and team up with Hitler and say, Hitler, would you come into our state, in our city, and clean things up? Yeah, how can you do that when you put yourself in that box for being dumb? Just like your body. Box body. So let's continue.
All he has to do is say, sir, we need help. It's out of control. And everyone knows it is. He's not kidding anyone.
See? Everybody knows. Everybody knows. But you think you got it hidden. You think you got it hidden. Okay? You up here talking to me with that wondering eyeball, and I'm looking at it, and you think you got it hidden. Now, I'm sure you can't see my eye wandering off somewhere. I'm going, no, that's all I can see. That's all I can see. You think you got it hidden. And maybe if I stand still. Even Sammy Davis Jr., as much as I loved it, every time he come on, Who can make the sunshine? I was sitting there like that eyeball. I mean, I like your singing and everything. The Candyman can. And I'm going to put that eyeball. It's distracting me, Mr. Candyman. So let's continue, though.
Washington, D.C. is a safe zone right now. It's a safe city. Chicago is a hellhole right now. Baltimore is a hellhole right now. Parts of Los Angeles are terrible.
And I know that hurts. It hurts them to hear this truth come out of Trump. And that's what it does. Because Trump comes right out there and he says, look at the results. D.C. with my intervention versus all of these other cities that are being dumb, stubborn, and just resisting common sense policies. Something that could help you. You would think these dummies would say, hey, how much would I be celebrated as a hero if I cleaned up the crime in my city? Now, Mayor Bowser must have got the memo that, wow, I probably would be more popular, even though there's going to be dummies at the end of this, that you're going to see that will rather the crime out there in Washington, D.C. But overall, I'm pretty sure you clean up a city or a state and make people feel safe, they will be like, he's a jolly good fellow. When Giuliani cleaned up New York, he was America's mayor until the Democrats start smearing him as a white supremacist, racist, xenophobe, and homophobe, all that stuff. So let's continue. Let's hear from the brothers up there in Chicago.
It's just gone from bad to worse to disaster.
No way.
No one really feels safe. It's impossible to feel safe in a city like this.
What?
Especially with the leadership we have.
Especially with the what? The leadership that we have. Did you hear that? They're just coming from some brothers. And I'm wondering, they're not celebrating the fact that you black, Brandon. That's all we expect. That's all we demand and require. Long as he's black, that's the only fact we need. But if you're whack and black, then dang on it, you get sacked. So now, they're up here saying the leadership that we have, they're not being led by white supremacists. They're not being led by Donald Trump. They're not being led by Bob. They're being led by black, used, sellout Democrat, socialists, and a governor with a bad body that's allowing you guys to live like this. They're up here saying, we can't be safe in a city like this. Why? Because of the leadership that we have. That's why.
These kids are carrying guns like around the ages of 8 years old.
What? 8 years old? So there goes the days where you could go ahead and discipline an 8-year-old, even without their parents. You see them doing something bad. Hey, boy, put that down now. You know you ain't supposed to be. Oh, what? Now, wait a minute. No, I meant put the rocks down, not the gun. Put the gun down. That's what it is. Can't say nothing to the 8-year-olds now. Now, you shut up, old man. I'll put a cap in you. 8 years old. But don't worry, the crime is down. It's a manufactured crisis.
They're killing other 8-year-old kids with guns. It's insane. So
it is insane. It's insane, especially when you see the deputy, the lieutenant governor coming out talking about this a manufactured crisis. Beetlejuice coming out there, manufactured crisis. Hear these fools talking about, go look at the red states, not us. Trump's trying to sabotage elections. He's distracted from Epstein. And then you hear from the real people. Yeah. Unlike Mayor Brandon, who just got out there and told us it's probably because of what? Maybe Trump and putting politics over people. And then, of course, slavery, I'm pretty sure, is a reason and stuff.
Police is really unappreciative for offhand under Brandon Johnson.
Under who? Huh? A white supremacist? Is that who? Under Nazi? Under Trump? Or under this guy? You see, that's the face of stupidity. Yeah, that right there. The one that'll come out and lie to his own people, the brothers and stuff, talking about him trying to save you guys from Trump, but really he's trying to save all these illegal immigrants from being deported from his raggedy behind city.
Lori Lightfoot, J.B. Pritzker.
That's right. Name them all. Yeah, throw them all in there. Those are the ones. Call them out by name so we all see.
Those are three are the reasons why nobody want to be a police.
Their policies when it comes to crime is not working at all.
We have reason to believe.
Not working at all. But you know what did work? You know what did work? Up there in Washington worked. So now here he is. Bad body's back. Now he got another reason. Here it is. He got something else to try to say. Don't listen. I want everybody to get mad and resist Trump coming in here.
That the Trump administration has already begun staging the Texas National Guard for deployment in Illinois.
Good.
I want to be very clear on this point.
Okay, please.
And I want to speak directly to the press right now. We know before anything has happened here that the Trump plan is to use any excuse to deploy armed military personnel to Chicago.
Motive? Give me motive. Any excuse to deploy armed military forces to Chicago. What would be his motive for doing that? I mean, how did you guys somehow get his attention? That's my question. How did you get his attention? I mean, is he randomly just waking up, picking cities and states to go in and put because that's what he likes doing. That's the only thing. He just you know what I like doing? I like sending the military into these cities and states. And I need any excuse. There it is. You know what's a good excuse? 50-something people shot, 8 dead. That's a good excuse. On a regular basis. That's a pretty good excuse.
Unidentifiable agents in unmarked vehicles.
Here we go. Now we're going back to that playbook because now he wants to pivot and make his dumb voters think that these ICE agents that are going to be in there to get these illegal immigrants are really the enemy. They're unmarked vehicles. They're coming in with masks. And all of you law-abiding citizens, American citizens, got to worry about them. I'm like, what does that have to do with me? Unmarked ICE agents coming in, doing their job to get illegal immigrants out of here has nothing to do with us. American citizens don't have to fear. But watch this fear that he's about to try to drop in their ear.
Masks are planning to raid Latino communities. You're like,
there it is. Raid Latino communities. Wait a minute. Just regular Latino communities? I mean, there are communities in America that have a large portion of American Latinos living there. So what he wants you to think, racism, just in case you're Latino, you need to be afraid. He's coming in to raid your community. No, if I'm Latino and we have Latino Americans in my neighborhood, and then I wake up and I got foreign Latinos that aren't Americans in my neighborhood that was thrust there by you bums, I'm going, yes, come raid this community. Rid us of what these folks shoved down our throat. Had nothing to do with us. We didn't vote for this mess, and they want us to get on board just because, look, these are people of your people. They're Latino too. You should get on board with this illegal immigration stuff. Unreal.
Likely to see videos of them hauling away mothers and fathers, traveling to work or picking up their kids from school.
So you're likely, let me go ahead and put these images in your head and try to scare everybody without giving any context to these images. So now all of these bad guys, these ICE agents, these kidnappers are going to come in and just start harassing people, throwing them on the ground, snatching kids up. Nothing to do with illegal immigrants, though. You're not even adding that in to this. That should be the first indicator that this guy is deceiving you. If you're sitting here watching this as a dummy, I ain't talking about a smart person. You could be a dummy watching this. And you should ask yourself, well, why would he just send these people in to start arresting grandmothers and just regular grandmothers, regular American grandmothers and kids out of school? There's nothing else to this but Trump's just sending them in to arrest all of these the American citizens. Nobody's asking. Are you talking about Americans or are you talking about illegal immigrants?
Sometimes they will detain, handcuff, and haul away children. Stephen.
There it is. That's what he wants you to think.
Stephen Miller chose the month of September to come to Chicago because of celebrations around Mexican Independence Day.
Anything. Do you understand? They are hurling shite at the wall. You know what? It's a holiday. It's the Mexicans, and they hate Mexicans and stuff, and grandmothers, and then there's kids, and then there's elections, and then don't worry about slavery. They are throwing shite on that wall. So you don't realize the source of the shite. Yeah, that's the shite you're looking at right there.
breaks my heart to report that we have been told ICE will try and disrupt community picnics and peaceful parades.
You hear that? It breaks my heart to get out here and try to sell y'all on this bullshit. So now that they're going to come out and interrupt peaceful parades and picnics. Are those picnics filled with a lot of illegal immigrants? That's what I wonder. Are you going to have, and probably in Chicago, a parade filled with nothing but illegal immigrants? Most likely, this is the illegal immigrant parade. Only people in the parade are illegal immigrants, and they're not you dirty American citizens. You're only going to stand over there and cheer us on. Now support us and say, that's great. It makes us more diverse and broke and less safe. Celebrate it. But get those American flags down. Don't wave those. Here's Mexican flags for you all to wave and support our new illegal American citizens. Unreal.
No militarized force in the city of Chicago. We're going to defend our democracy in the city of Chicago. We're going to protect the humanity of every single person in the city of Chicago.
What are you talking about? What are you yelling about, big mouth? In the city of Chicago, no military force in the city of Chicago. You're going to resent. So basically, you're encouraging all of these people to fight back against federal agents to come in. You got to resist. What are you suggesting when you're talking about we're going to defend our democracy in the city of Chicago? We're going to fight back again. What are you suggesting? What is the most they can do when ICE comes in? They have identified a group of illegal immigrants and they're doing their job. What are you suggesting that these Chicagoans do? Are you encouraging violence, Brandon Johnson? Are you encouraging a civil unrest, an insurrection? Are you encouraging that? Because that's a lot of tough talk you're talking. That's a lot of wolf tickets. I want to see Conehead take his big fat butt out there into the streets when ICE is trying to do their job and throw yourself in that big cone right in between ICE trying to make an arrest. I want to see you do that so they can haul you off by that cone on top of your head to jail. But you're not willing to do that. You're not willing to say, you just want to encourage the dummies to go out and do that. So let's continue because he ain't finished yelling into the mic.
And then there was even the requisite shout out to the indigenous people.
Are you prepared to defend this land that was built by slaves, a land that was built by indigenous people?
Indigenous people, anything we can say. Anything we can say to make it seem like we can unite all the victimized groups together. That's a lot of wokeness in that statement right there. Are you prepared that this land that was built by, I'm pretty sure Chicago wasn't built by slaves, but nonetheless, but they're built by the slaves and then indigenous people. What do you mean indigenous people? Were the Native Americans building businesses and building business? There were teepees. They weren't throwing up high rises. What are you talking about, indigenous people? So now here he is out there, just throwing out a whole bunch of jargon, uncontested, the indigenous people, and these people are celebrating. They're clapping that. Are you prepared to defend it? What do you, please tell these dummies, what are you talking about when you say defend it? Yeah, see, you want to leave that open-ended, right? Yeah, defend it is open-ended. That means that's room for you crazy folks to think, I got to do something drastic because Trump is coming in to try to take over our whole city and state and occupy us and go after grandmas and kids. So now you say that and you don't qualify it. You don't sit back and say, all right, here's our plan. And when I mean defend it, just go out, stand on the side and say, you know what, we don't like this. But when it comes down to Democrat supporters and voters, they know they're easy to go ahead and be manipulated. Mentity. So we'll just make it seem like this is an existential threat to your direct survival. They're rolling back everybody's rights. They're taking over everything. And you got to do whatever you got to do to stop Hitler. Unreal.
The people united will always prevail.
Lighten up, Francis.
That's right. Lighten up, Francis. All of that yelling. And are you prepared? And this and that.
Well, how do you respond to the argument that there were something like 50 plus shootings, 52 people, I should say, were shot in Chicago, 30 different shootings over the holiday weekend, 7 people killed.
Now, Y'all ready for this dumb dim to try to go ahead and fuddle his way through this response? Yeah, what's happening now is now you got to overcome those stats. Now you got to try to make a reason why these overwhelming drastic stats that man just ripped off, it doesn't make sense. And don't pay attention to that. That's not a problem. This is what they have to do to try to sell us on this. Watch this contortion. This man is about to straight up become a pretzel.
Aren't numbers like that still a problem that your city needs to address? What more can be done to address that?
Here we go.
Well, I think that what we need to do is we also had a mass shooting in a Catholic school.
What we need to do is focus on other things in other states and stuff that has nothing to do with our crime. Yeah. Look, there was a mass shooting and somebody else wasn't at. Why don't y'all look up there? Go, not here. We have those every weekend. Yeah, they're not talked about, see, in our city as much because, they're done by black folks, killing mostly black folks. But you want to bring up one incident. Well, look what happened up there. Now, that just goes to show this guy right here is trying to avoid the obvious. When somebody reads that off to you, you go, ooh, this sound bad. When I hear it out loud, when I hear this guy say, how do you respond to all 55 shootings and all of these deaths and all of this stuff? And you thinking in yourself, boy, I really can't give a rational response to that without sounding stupid, without downplaying it. So what I'm going to do is talk about crime in other cities and stuff. And then watch this one.
We also have had many instances where the administration has really escalated.
The demonstrations have really escalated. What demonstrations are you talking about that led to 55 shootings that escalated? What are you talking about? Just right now, he's so frazzled in his head, he's just trying to pull anything out. The many incidents that have escalated? What incidents are you talking about? Are you talking about those brothers killing the brothers because they're mad at the other brothers? The situations have escalated, and then watch this one. Here it is. But let's get back to Trump.
Exacerbated the violence in our country.
This exacerbated the violence in our country. All over the road. All over the road. My man is like, I really cannot address this. I'm going to start talking about the violence all over the country and protests and uprisings. This is a specific type of violence. It ain't done by being agitated, protesters being agitated. That's another type of violence coming from the left. But once again, that violence is correlating with, them demonstrating or protesting or trying to stop law and order from taking place. This is organic violence. This is not prompted by anybody going in and escalating stuff. This is not stemmed by a psychotic person doing something. This is a consistent, concentrated, organic violence that is systemic violence in your city. In your city. But now here you're talking about that it's escalated all over the country and that people are at unrest and that. But wait a minute. And don't forget Trump.
In our cities, Trump is a dictator. I think we got to be very clear. He's trying.
Did you hear that? So after all of that mumbo jumbo, man, that man just got out there. He might as well said, all of that mumbo jumbo, he just ripped off. And then but let's just be clear. Trump is a dictator. After all of that, this is what you come up with? That's how it was so obvious you was nervous all over the place. But wait, okay. So people doing bad stuff everywhere. And then, come on, think everybody's saying it. And then, Trump's a dictator. Did you know that? They told me to say that in the talking points if anybody asked me why we're not doing nothing about these drastic crime stats.
Trying to normalize violence is
trying to normalize violence. This guy's bad at what he does. Bad. This guy right here must have not been expecting this question from CNN. Trying to normalize violence. How in the world is Trump trying to normalize violence in Chicago where it is normal? How in the world? Trump ain't stepped foot up there and encouraged it. He ain't over in the hood talking about, what y'all should be doing is putting cats in each other every weekend. Yeah, that's what you should be doing. But Trump's trying to normalize violence. Now, you don't realize how stupid he sounds.
trying to normalize military deployment in American cities like.
Now, those two bump heads. Bump heads. Normalize violence, but normalize military presence to stop the violence. Now, this is the concoction that Democrat politicians is brewing up for their supporters. They're stirring this big gumble of shite and saying, here's a big spoonful of it, you dumb Democrat voters. Unreal.
LA, DC, Chicago, and many others to come. But what we have not seen is really a systemic investment that will actually address the core issues. I had shootings in my ward. One of them was a tragic shooting of an unhoused neighbor. So the Trump administration is saying that they're going to address the issue of unhoused residents by putting them in jails, in concentration camps.
Well, what are you talking about? What, jails and concentration camps? Now, he's going back once again to defending the illegal immigrants. The only people he's worried about being put in jails, because they gotta say it like that. They can't say arresting illegal immigrants and putting them in detainment to deport them. So they got to make it sound as if these innocent American citizens are being arrested and then put in concentration camps. And then something about housing and things like that. I don't know what he don't know what he's saying. That guy just gave us a big gumbo of nonsense. That's what he did. And then you get this guy, this black guy right here. I'm sure he's going to be like, Trump, if you could do anything to come in here and stop all of these young black men and innocent kids from being shot, if you could do something like that, considering I'm pro-black and down with the struggle, please do that. We don't want to see our brothers and sisters being shot on a weekly basis, do we? But instead, what does he do?
This president is undermining, is talking about reducing crime, but what he's really doing when you look at it.
What he's really doing. Here's another motive that they're going to make up. Here's another motive. See, I'm going to tell you what he's really doing. Forget what he's saying he's doing. Forget the results of what he did up there. I'm going to tell you what he's really doing.
Is going after and undermining the power of black leaders.
There it is. I knew we had to get to that too. There had to be some racism thrown in there at some point. So undermining the leadership of black. No, they're undermining themselves. That's what they're doing. Undermining themselves by having cities ran like this. Those crime stats undermine their leadership. The results of all of the shootings and the crime undermines they did it to themselves. But what you're saying is that we should overlook that just because they're black leaders that y'all put in these bad cities just so y'all can bubble wrap them when it comes down to the criticism of you guys unraveling our society. Yeah, don't look at the fact that our policies are destabilizing our cities, making them less safe. Just look at the fact that it's black people over it, and you should celebrate that alone. Yeah, just like they've convinced a lot of black people to go out and vote black no matter what, because they just assume black people have their best interests. And when those black people are being puppeted by the Democrat Party, they don't. That's what folks need to realize. They're just there to convince you of that. They're the gatekeepers. They're the ones to get rich off of telling you that you could never get rich. That somebody's going to keep you down because you're brown, and all of this stuff going on in your neighborhoods that we run. It's not us. It's the white man who did it. And when the white man try to come in and clean up all the crime and the death and the shooting, you got to overlook that because I'm black. That's what you got to do. Don't you see that? I'm black. Overlook that. Unreal.
In largely majority black cities or cities with majority people of color.
Yeah, we heard it all. That's always a black thing. I got black fatigue, and I'm black. I'm going, man, I don't want to hear another thing about black folks. You understand? Oh, wait, I'm a brother. Except me. I like me being black. But the way y'all use it, yeah, y'all make me go, oh, man, I don't want to hear nothing about the black folks and black people. Good grief. Can you just focus on Americans for a little bit? Just a little bit. Give us a little relief of all of the grief. But now, wait, look, here's some dummies up there in Washington mad at Mayor Bowser for doing something that gave the Republicans and Trump, a good look, because they would have loved nothing more than this intervention in D.C. to fall apart, to unravel, to not render all of these positive results. So now how do you deal with this?
Muriel Bowser got up on a podium today and said that she is grateful for the surge of federal law enforcement in D.C.
We greatly appreciate the surge of officers that enhance what MPD has been able to do in this city.
Now, the young black girl right there, who probably have been trained to just reflexively think that law enforcement automatically means they're going to target and hurt black people. Suppression. We hate them just by sight. We don't want any authority around us. Let us live like banshees. Let us go ahead, act a fool. Let us live in more fear of each other than the law enforcement that I'm mad is occupying our city. We'd rather live like that than to know that man is out there lurking somewhere. That's what we'd rather live like. So now, instead of focusing on, wait a minute, why is she saying that she welcomed the help of the federal government? So you're not smart enough, young lady, to realize it's the results of what the federal government has brought. You're just focused on, she said she, is thankful for the federal government to come in and help. No, you're thankful because of the outcome. I'm sure if the outcome wasn't great, there's nothing to be thankful about it. But the young girl right there is not focused on the outcome. She's just focused on the present. So they're here. You should allow these people to come in. This is oppressive.
The most significant thing.
She has always been a weak leader, but she is probably like the worst possible leader that DC could.
Meanwhile,
the worst possible leader that DC. So wait a minute. She is a weak leader. She's always been a weak leader. I don't trust her. She's a raggedy Democrat. But she made a good choice in this case, and it led to good results. But the dumb girl don't even realize it. Now she's talking about she's always been a weak leader, but she's even weakly. So wait, you'd rather her like she was? You'd rather her allow your city to operate in that type of chaos instead of working with Trump because they've convinced you that Trump's intervention on any level and any representative of police force or law and order automatically means oppression. Yeah, and this is something that the black community has to get over. Yeah, automatically just thinking that law enforcement is evil. Man, I don't mess with the... I'm not saying you got to go out there and just be running up to the cops, hey, everybody. But to automatically look at them and say, I view them as the enemy. I'm going, what are you doing? If you're viewing them as the enemy, wait until you need to call them and see what happens. Then you'll be viewing them as your savior. You'll be viewing them like, why ain't they coming? Why ain't they need to hurry up and get here? These folks coming in my crib. And then all of a sudden you're going, hey, I need the enemy to come in and save me. If you act like the enemy with them, then you're going to get what you give out often. And I think a lot of young black people, especially if you listen to the Democrats, because remember, the police and stuff always oppressing you. It convinces them and brainwash them into automatically reverting to aggression. Man, why you always, man, police officer could say, hey, how you doing there, young man? Why you talking to me, man? I ain't do nothing. I was just saying hello. Oh, all right, well, I'm pretty sure you're going to be wanting to search me and stuff. Automatically. And that's bad. It really is bad because these folks right here are in way more danger of the violence in their own community than they are from those police officers.
DC Mayor Muriel Bowser is already making plans for what happens when the president's 30-day federal orders expire.
Oh, shoot. I'm sure she's going to do what Chuck Schumer said. Get him out of here. We don't want to no, we're not going to sign nothing. Or did she do what?
She issued her own order yesterday to continue the Safe and Beautiful Emergency Operations Center to manage the district's response and coordinate with federal law enforcement.
This is MAGA country now.
That's right. DC's MAGA country now. Oh, yeah.
She said the center will request that federal partners adhere to MPD policing practices like not wearing masks, clearly identifying their agency, and providing identification during arrests. While Bowser did not speak publicly about this yesterday, we did get Councilmember Robert White's take.
Oh, okay. So now we're going to close with this dummy. So now Bowser comes out and makes this decision. And then this guy comes out and tries to undermine this decision with one of the dumbest things ever. We're going to end on a dumb note. That's what we're going to do.
It is moving public safety in the wrong direction.
How much longer could it have been? What are you talking about? If they're moving public safety in the wrong direction. So now you're overlooking the right stats. Crime gone down, murder's gone down, carjacking gone down, but it's moving public safety in the wrong direction. This is the shite that the Democrats are feeding you. Did you hear what this man just said? Now, Mayor Bowser comes out, says all these positive things when it comes down to crime and safety, and this fool comes out and says it's moving public safety in the wrong direction. Why is that?
It'll take us years to clean up the mistrust that is built in our local police department.
The mistrust that is built in the years to clean up. Now, I wouldn't trust the local police department the way it was when they weren't solving crimes and murders and stopping all these carjackings and stuff like that. But you're saying it's going to take years to build up that trust and stuff that y'all didn't have in the first place. Yeah, the minimizing the police department, demoralizing them, understaffing them, and all of that. And here you are talking about it's going to take years to repair. Yeah, the way DC was going, it would have taken years to save any resemblance of DC. But what Trump did? Saved it in like a month. But this fool.
It's dumb. It's not dumb. It's just dumb.
Why is it dumb? It is.
I don't know.
Just dumb. Because they're the dumb Dems, baby. The dumb, dirty Dems, man. Okay? They don't operate in logic, common sense, morals, facts, reality, none of that. We've just watched a montage of them making stuff up, denying stuff, projecting, all of that stuff. Yeah, that's their style. That's their style. Yeah, they'd rather you live in squalor and be unsafe so they can continue destroying your cities and blaming it on everybody else and rejecting any type of help by labeling that help as racist. There's a takeover in these elections and slavery and the indigenous people. Don't forget those guys. The indigenous people built this all of that stupid nonsense while their cities are in turmoil. And so I'm just here to point it out and call it out. So the showdown is about to happen. Yeah, man, get ready. Get your popcorn. Because the showdown's about to go down, man. Wow, wow, wow. Mayor Brandon's trying to rally the troops. Out there, y'all got me, right? Y'all got me? I need y'all to go ahead and fight against the Trump and all of that. No, I'm not going to lead you on the battlefield. I'm not going to lead you on the battlefield. I'll be at the mayor's house or stuff like that, watching you fools on TV get arrested because I've went ahead and encouraged you to do stupid stuff. That's what I'm going to be doing. And then get Trump that de-escalated stuff just because he's here. Just because they're here. This is the only reason these people are acting up. So I want to see him come in and drop the cannon on all of them. So, yeah, we'll see. So God bless y'all. God bless America. Thanks for kicking with me this morning. Oh, well, look at that. Somebody dropped a 20 in my piggy bank. I appreciate that. Anybody else? Going once, going twice? Yeah. If you don't want to drop it there, you can drop it in my PayPal or my Cash App. The links are below each video. Please subscribe to my alternative channel because we're doing big things over there too. We want to get more eyes on that channel and more views and stuff like that. And then finally, follow me on all the other social media platforms. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead, get me some nourishment, take care of some bills and mess. Gotta pay the bills and then go to sleep so I can go right back to work tonight. All right. So God bless y'all. We'll see y'all next time in Kevin's Corner. Take care. Our city. Up north, got our hands round y'all throats. Yeah. Take care.